Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Terezi E.
Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, booze, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he manifested that, you drink. If My Sock Summer talks about the gym or tells us he simply didn't have time, you drink. And if I talk music or Star Wars, you drink. But speaking of drinking, you could make all of us drink for $1.08 or more. Please, more. But speaking of drinking, guys, what are you drinking? My Sock Summer, what are you drinking tonight? Are you on our quest?
Do you know what they say, right? I think it was when you fall back down, you got to get up again. I think that was the famous band Rancid. Tonight, I am going back to the On the Rocks bottle that destroyed me last week, but I am doing the Cosmopolitan version. I haven't even had a drink yet. This is how well this is going to go.
He almost ate his tongue trying to say that.
I am going to
that old Cosmopolitan.
I'm going to drink this. I'm going to drink that. My Sock Summer in college used to drink a shitload of vodka and then kind of stopped drinking vodka because he was getting way too hammered. So we had to move to beer. And then that's when My Sock Summer in college got extremely fat. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes with the vodka. So we're doing a Cosmo, so that's checking one off the list.
So wait, does that mean that because you're drinking this, now you're going to get super thin? Like,
Wow.
The whiskey cured him, and now the vodka's going to cure him.
Just one night. It's one night. That's all I can really do.
He is frozen, but we have his vocals coming through, so he's all good. Don't worry about that.
Still smell.
This happened last week,
you're good. Don't worry about MSS. You power through.
Right, I'm shutting down some other stuff.
We can hear you perfectly. Don't worry about it, baby.
Beef, what are you drinking, my friend?
Terezi, I got excited because I went to our secret liquor store that I don't want to tell anyone about. That's the best liquor store in the city of Chicago. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, I was going to do maybe like a gin and tonic or something. I know you got some mixed drinks on the list, and there's a few that are gin-related. I don't even own gin ever. Never drink it, but I was like, maybe I'll buy some of that. And I went in the back, and I was like, oh, maybe they got Stroh's. But you know what? They did me one better. They got the Coors Banquet beer, and I got it in the bottles. Terezi, they got the little bomber bottles. And it tastes so much better out of these goddamn bottles. I forgot how good it is out of the bottle, man.
It looks like you're just having medicine. It looks like it's that's good.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'm improving every drink I take. You know,
they're like the Jamaican
snake oil.
They're like the white
oil.
Jamaican stripes. I think I've told this story a million times before. Packs of those one time. Right before Christmas, and we got snowed in, and we played Coach K basketball on the Sega Genesis and smoked cigarettes and drank Coors Banquet beer for like 5 days straight. It was wonderful. It was a great time.
That's awesome. Terezi, what are you drinking, my friend?
So you mentioned gin, and I one of the things I had on the list was a Negroni. I've never even had one. Never even had a Negroni. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put a couple together. You know, so I got like a nice little shaker full of them, so we're good for the show. But yeah, I had to use up that Campari that I got. So like, this just worked out.
When I was reviewing the drinks, Terezi, I saw that the Negroni had Campari, and I thought Terezi has to drink this because he has a metric ton of Campari.
He has it already. Yes.
I used a bunch of it tonight, and I still have. I somehow ended up with more than I started with. It's insane. It's like
getting a Mogwai wet.
Regenerate. It's crazy.
Well, if I'm concerned,
I'm not a big gin guy. Not a big gin guy. So like this is not probably my favorite drink. We got a quest we're trying to do.
Yeah,
we're gonna get.
Well, congrats on next week when you have gin and tonic. Since you got gin already, I have a feeling you're just going to roll down the gin aisle here and become Mr. Fucking Gin.
I feel like I'm going to get to do that. MSS, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. I don't have a lot, so I'll just update everybody. If you notice, I made a little video for our 2005 World Series champion catcher. I had picked up this shin guard, at the garage sale for $5. I have identified whose it is. AJ said it's not his. It is identified as Zach Collins. So right, even at $5, this seems like it was way too expensive. I overpaid, but the other option would have been Reese McGuire, and I don't need spank lube and fucking jizz all over it. So hey, we're good. We're good.
Lube.
I don't know what spank lube is.
Yeah, when you got a drip.
Well, I don't want it on me either. I agree.
Listen, you don't need it.
I surely don't want it on my shins. That's all I know.
They're only $5. What a deal!
Only $5 to get spank lube. All right, yeah, no, I'm good. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
MSS, when you're looking at that and you're like, $5 for this, and you're thinking to yourself, it's worth $5, so and then throw this in the garbage, or what's your thought process?
My thought process was, it's $5. I've wasted more money on stupid parlays, so I might as well just go ahead and buy it. It could be AJ's. It did not fit like any of the other ones. It didn't look normal or new, or I was like, it could potentially be this. So it's like just like a scratch off. I was like, yeah, let's see what it is. Now, what am I going to do with it? No, absolutely no idea. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it.
Wear it to a game. Strap that bitch on and wear that shit to the ballpark. Yeah, just one. Single. Yeah, exactly.
Is that how you know that I'm affiliated? If it's on my left or my right leg or something, or what?
You're going to find out.
You'll definitely get through security. That's not going to be a problem. That's not going to be a problem.
What I gathered from that, Treasy, is that my Sox Summer's philosophy in life is, if he wastes money on something, it's totally fine to waste money on something else. It makes it even. That's what it is.
Well, no, it's
if I worked by his logic of like, I've spent that much gambling, man, I could just fucking buy anything.
Jackie might be correct. I'll put it in the window for opening day, and it will hopefully bring us luck because Zach Collins is no longer. Yes. You also have to put it in a clear plastic bag. Anything in a clear plastic bag is okay to go in.
That's true.
Past security.
Absolutely.
I think even a gun. I think we should. I think we should give that shit away. MSS. Someone buys a ticket tonight for the show.
Yeah. I mean, it'll cost more to ship it than it costs for me to buy it. So yeah, let's do that. That seems like a really smart idea. And then we still have the Jordan card. So if you want to come see us,
not real. Totally
farce. That's a totally farcical Jordan autograph card.
It's close enough.
But you want
it. You probably need it. You could put it in your man cave or your she shed. And just
it might be Michael Jordan's autograph. It probably is.
Hey, listen, I got it from this guy from the internet. Who knows? It could be. It could be not.
Just don't let Michael Jordan's kid in your she shed. Just let's
doing spank lube.
Go get those tickets. Go get those tickets right now. The QR code's up in the corner, or go to 108.ing/Eve. We'll give you some. We'll just give you shit. We'll find stuff in our places that is somehow baseball related.
This isn't baseball related, but I could send this to you if you want it. If you're interested in it, I'll pass that along to you.
What is that? Actually, it's a bottle opener, right?
No, yeah, it's a bottle opener. Not a good one either. I was trying to use it earlier. I'm like, this is a piece of shit. But anyway, it's a beautiful figurine, is what it is. My Sox. I bet you. If we play this or that, $9.99. You're gonna get shipped. Shipped.
The same as the beanie. All the beanies are $9.99. And
did something light up behind you just now? Yeah, what the fuck happened back there?
What?
Something lit up behind you. What the fuck?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He got ghosts in his house. No hot water, but plenty of ghosts.
I think it was a ghost with a Q name.
Don't ruin my GFY. Don't ruin my GFY for tonight.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Beef, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, guys. And I realized last week my banter started off focusing on something that I really liked that My Sox Summer did. And tonight I'm going to start off my banter focusing on something really good that My Sox Summer did. So I'm going to play you a video of something My Sox Summer just put out on Twitter the other day.
Hey, it's me, My Sox Summer. Just got one more thing. Are we as a society in favor or against people that get in line at the grocery store before they even have their cart filled. Person is actively shopping and there's somebody standing in front of me holding their space. Are we with that or are we against that? Because it seems like we should be against that. If it's that quick, you don't have to worry about holding in your spot. There's nothing more depressing than standing in line thinking you're next and then a guy shows up with 2 fucking, grocery carts full of stuff. We for or against? Let me know below. Thanks.
Now, Tracy, I'm sitting at work. I see that on Twitter because I have the Twitter tab open, and I take a little break from spreadsheets. I'll hop on and see what you guys have done out there. And I watched that video, and the object at hand is a no-brainer that's uncouth, stupid to do. Like, not a cool thing. That's not where my mind went, though. My mind ran back to a month, 6 weeks ago, on this very podcast, when my sock Summer was at Costco. And he complained about being cut in line for gasoline. Yeah. So my question for you, Terezi, just adding up all the details, all the information that we know about My Sock Summer, do people look at My Sock Summer, they take a gaze at this handsome man and determine he's a bitch? He's someone to stole on? He's one? He's like
a fucking bitch. A weak bitch.
Yeah, like he's the guy you can get, you're the guy you can get away with doing this absolute bull, because that is total bullshit. That thing you explained right there is that is like almost getting a fight worthy, like, what the fuck are you doing? And not they ran to the 2 aisles over and grabbed the chips from the edge of the aisle and ran back.
No.
Okay, that's totally fair.
I mean, just chilling.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this sounded like someone piling up fucking carts, and they'll go when they're ready next. You're gonna have to fucking wait. And when you pile that on with the gas station thing, Treasy, are we onto something here? Is he the one to be stolen on or what?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Thank you. Because you know why, Beef? Because
what?
We thought that for a moment. We once thought that.
Yeah,
I know what he's going to bring up.
And we come to we say some stuff about MSS.
We said some shit. Yeah, we made some remarks.
Yep. To his face.
Yeah.
And he showed up the next day, fucking no sleeves, bandana, and he had to have worked out right before that. And he just like we showed up and he like turned. And it wasn't like, hey, fuck you guys, but just enough to go like, yeah, we fucked up there. We shouldn't have said what we said. So no, I don't think it's special to MSS. I think it's that egregious that people will just do this shit now. Like people are just people have lost
like what are they
all
do?
Sense of community.
Yep.
They've lost all sense of community, and they do shit like this to anybody. Because you'll see videos of this shit where like doing something, and they're doing it to someone where you're like, I would never fuck with that guy. I would just absolutely never fuck with that guy, and they're fucking with him, or they're just being ignorant in front of him. It's like these guys that you see get knocked out in the bouncer videos, right? It's like. You deserved every fucking bit of that.
Okay, I get what you're saying. That's different. That's different. I was going to say, they're drunk on drugs. This is the middle of the day. This is random people shopping. Which they may be drunk and on drugs too. It's a different situation is all I'm saying.
No. So I'll give you an example today. Today. The parking lot that I come out.
Yeah.
There's 2 aisles going out, right? And one way, if you're turning right, is 4 fucking lanes of traffic.
Okay. Yep.
All the way across the street is one that goes the other way, and it dead ends, and you have to turn right. That's the only option you have over there. So if you were going to be a person who's going to cross that whole street during rush hour traffic to get over there, which of the 2 lanes would you pick? Would you pick the one on the right where you also have to cross my fucking car to do it? Because that's what this motherfucker did. So like, yeah, it is just everywhere. People are just people haven't been outside enough. They become too stupid to be outside.
You can't even blame COVID anymore. Like it's
we're too far from it.
No. It has nothing to do with that. I'm saying people don't go outside enough, regardless of anything. They're just people like you hear about this shit all the time. You see people tweeting about it. Oh, you know what I'm doing tonight? I'm staying in. Of course, that's why you have no social skills whatsoever, because you stay in all the time. And when you get in the fucking 2 lanes of getting out of a parking lot, you choose the worst one possible because you've never been outside. So no, it's not my Suck Summer's fault.
The Aldi that I was at they're known. This happens a lot. Like somebody will just stand there and just wait. Yeah. And so the woman ended up letting me go in front of her, even though I said, "Go ahead, you're fine. Don't worry about it." Because the guy didn't have a ton of stuff, so I was like, "I don't really care. Go." But there was a guy in front that had a bunch of more stuff who did look at me and go, "1 second," and then he ran over and grabbed some bananas and came back. I'm like, "I'm fine with that.
That type of thing's
I
fine.
don't care." Yeah. You know what was more fucked is that you left your cart for too long behind you, so I couldn't pack my shit onto the onto the conveyor belt to keep shit moving.
I want you to do something. Next time someone leaves a cart like that, just holding a spot in the line, start going through it. If you see some shit you like, I don't give a shit. Fuck that person. If you see some shit you like, that's yours. That's your cart now. That's in your cart. You throw it in.
I do need some of these generic Samoas they sell here at Aldi. You're right.
I can't wait till my Sock Summer shows up to the podcast with a black eye and explain what he did. He's going to do someone else's cards.
I can't wait till he shows up to the podcast eating some delicious Pillsbury crescent rolls that he didn't have any idea he was going to get until he those look delicious. I'm going to get them.
I'm going to eat these, and Line Jumper here is going to pay for them.
Let's get a couple drinks, guys. We got one from Jackie Triorin. It says, let's have us a show. Cross some drinks off the list. 3 off the list.
Oh, appreciate you, Jackie. Good tip, brother.
Man, Coors and Rolling Rock, you're just living the high life over there.
That's good, man.
90s.
It says drink. We will.
Cheers.
Thanks, Mr. Hand, bless you.
All right.
Trey says these are good.
5 weeks from opening day. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers. Get your ass, Trey. Let's go.
5 weeks to find a team. Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Treasy, how are you doing, my friend?
So I'm doing good, but another thing that has annoyed me this week. So I saw a preview for this. I saw a preview for this new movie, The Alto Nights. Have you seen this?
No.
So it's De Niro. It's like a mob movie.
Oh, okay. Hey, man, I think I've heard of this. Yeah.
De Niro plays 2 characters in it.
That looks like Robin Williams.
It does. It looks like unfrozen Robin Williams. You're right, MSS.
On the left.
Are we sure it's not? Yeah, I know which one you meant.
I'm sure you it's not, but
hang on. Wait a minute. That's Mrs. Doubtfire, you motherfucker. MSS is correct here, all right? What the fuck does Robert De Niro think he's fooling us for? That's some bullshit.
Why does he want to be Miss Doubtfire? I am Mr. Doubtfire.
Robert De Niro is 2 mob bosses, Frank Costello and Mrs. Doubtfire. But why is De Niro doing this Nutty Professor shit? Like I can't watch the trailer. Like I'm having trouble watching the trailer. There's a scene in the trailer where he's talking to himself. They're like going back and forth. And like I can't stand it. I'm like, could you guys watch this movie? Like I love De Niro mob movies. Like there's if he comes out with one, I'll sit for 3.5 hours and watch The Irishman.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This one, I might be out on. I might have to not watch this one.
I mean, I don't know. I think I could suspend my disbelief watching it. I think maybe I could get that done. Yeah. I mean, it's really weird though. That is bizarre. And I guess Bobby D's he's 81 years old. Treasy. Maybe he's at the point where he's like, I'll try anything creative that I think could be interesting to me. And it's like he's done everything already. So like this is like a new thing for him, So I don't know. Maybe it strikes his fancy.
I'm sure it's exciting to him. I'm just not into it. What'd you say, MSS? I'm gonna let you guys watch it first and report back, and then I'll decide if I want to watch it. I think that's it.
So
I'm gonna use you guys as I watch a lot of shitty documentaries that I can warn you about. You warn me about this one. If it's too shitty, I don't want to waste my time. Okay.
So I just said I'm probably not going to watch it. So you're counting on Beef actually seeing a movie. Beef actually watching a movie. A
mob movie though. I usually can get it done with it when it's a mob movie. And by the way, just to give an update, I watched another episode of Breaking Bad last night. All right, we're almost through season 3. It's really spicy right now, so it's getting good. I feel like I could really get on a roll and finish up the series finally.
I feel
No spoiler alerts, assholes.
I feel like you started watching this in 2018.
You did.
There's been some breaks in the middle, but we're getting some momentum now.
Pre-COVID, during COVID, now post-COVID, and then post-COVID. He's been through 3 administrations.
Well, it's like one season a year, half a season a year. That's how I do it.
My Sox Summer, why don't you pay us some bills, my friend?
Let's do it.
Are you ready to turn up the heat? We're bringing the fire with our newest and hottest menu item yet, Smokin' Hot Shrimp. We're taking 8 large shrimp, brined with Carolina Reaper powder, then lightly hand battered with Nashville hot seasoning. These shrimp are bold, fiery, and packed with flavor. So hot, they don't even need sauce, but we'll include one just in case you dare to dip. Of course, we're serving them up with a side of crispy fries and a soft roll, so you can pace yourself because trust us, you're gonna need it. One bite of these blazing hot shrimp, and you'll know why they're called Smokin' Hot. All for only $14.99. Available at all locations. Think you can handle the heat? Stop by one of our 4 locations today and put your taste buds to the ultimate test. Order online at chicagoshrimp.com. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp, serving the seafood you crave for 75 years.
Yeah. All right. We got another drink, fellas.
Woo!
From Jason Wagner. Now, there's nothing there, but he did say in a previous message, cheers from KBR ABG on the Best Coast. I feel like only MSS knows what that is.
I know what it is. It's Kevin Bell's raggedy ass batting glove.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Hell yeah.
Cheers.
You know why I know who he is? Every time I see Jason's picture, I'm always like, he's just like the 4th member. He's like the 4th Beastie Boy. Like he just looks just like he fell right into that. And he's hip. So like it makes a lot of sense.
I feel embarrassed that I didn't know what that was. I'm like,
it's okay.
I'm losing my.
Your street cred's going down, Treasy.
And if Loaf would have like not shouted out the answer right away, I would have told you it's a really sweet ass like back alley bar. They only
would have made up some bullshit.
Yeah. I thought
Lone
that's where
Star there. You know?
No, this is the thing that people don't realize about. Maybe they realize already after all these years of watching us. You two are king size bullshitters. Me, I tell the truth almost all the time.
Oh shit. Yeah,
I'm not a liar. I don't lie. I just tell you what it is. You guys are bullshitters. You know? I love your bullshit. Don't get me wrong. You tell great stories, but you know, you're getting where you fit.
Chill, nasty Nate. He's my bitch.
All right, fuck beef loaf.
Let's pretend it's 7 a.m. It's first call for alcohol. It's first call for alcohol. Wow.
All right, it's first call. We're not doing last call. We want to keep the socks at the end. We're going first call today.
That's right.
First call, you know, we just bring something to you. We bring something to the other guys, say what's going on. We talk about it. My Sox Summer. First call, what do you got?
All right. So you guys know I quit smoking almost like 6 years ago. I had a little relapse, you know, at Sox Fest when I was ossified and you know whatever. But I had one Marlboro Red. I think I've had 3
Drop $5, just let it fly away.
It just flew away. Hey, listen, I got hit. We got in a car accident right over there. I'm not running after a $5 bill to get smoked by a fucking Toyota, you know, Sentra or whatever.
I'm with you.
I'm fuck that, man. I got enough 108 money. I don't need to worry about that shit.
Attaboy.
But what I didn't give up, though, is going on Reddit and perusing Reddit for things that will potentially anger me and make my blood pressure rise. And today, I came across a thread, and I was very excited. And so this is my new segment, and it's called Responding to Reddit. And this was the thread today. If you're at home, I'll read it. Or listening at home, not watching. It says, what would you change about the team's marketing? And then the meat of the question here is, I know Boyer isn't going anywhere and won't read this post, but still, we all know the team's going to suck in 2025, 26, 27, and etc. Well, my God, I hope it really doesn't go that long, but maybe it will. But the Sox aren't just bad on the field. They, for a long time, seemed behind the times in marketing the team, even when there is still some momentum in the rebuild. Yeah, they had to change the game, but they didn't seem to change their overall presentation. They've long still had the same pregame montage, stuck with Thunderstruck forever, and just seemed out of step with current times. If you were in charge, how would you change how the team presents and markets itself outside of performance on the field? Now, boys, I hate lazy Sox fans. So as soon as this guy says they haven't changed the opening montage in however long, I like my brain almost explodes. And why do I know that? Why do I know that the montage has been changed? Because people have been bitching about it for like 13 years. They're like, where did the Pirates of the Caribbean go? Like, we need the same fucking intro we had in 05. Just continue it through. But no, they changed it. They changed it up. They got rid of it. I think for a minute they didn't have Thunderstruck in there, and people lost their goddamn minds. Okay, so it drives me kind of crazy when they're so lazy, the lazy Sox fan, or just don't go to the game to like say, hey, why don't they do this anymore? Or they keep doing this, but they're actually not doing it. So it shows me that you don't really know what's going on as a guy that goes to 70 plus games a year. But the CMI guy asked the question. And so what are you going to do? And now there were some suggestions that people put out here, and I thought some of them were good and some of them were bad. Here's the next one, and I'll read it again. This is from Northwest Side Great Dane. He's like, not really a marketing note, but bring back a motherfucking live organist. It's utterly ridiculous that after Nancy Faust, they did not even attempt to carry on the tradition. Of course, no one will fill her shoes or be as great as she is, but still, come on, that was a huge part of Sox games, and it has been replaced by a DJ in the outfield. Now, boys, I'll ask you this. Do you remember what happened after Nancy Faust retired in 2010?
I do not.
In 2010, the Sox hired Lori Moreland, who is a local woman who is also an organist, who played the organ from 2010 to 2020. She was a COVID casualty, maybe gave
Treasy, that's how integral it is to our experience where we're at every game that we had no idea.
Well, also, I don't know if they're just playing a track or not. Like, I can't see the person.
But here's
they got to
the
be
deal.
out, they're spinning around like Tommy Lee for me to know that they're there.
You guys shouldn't notice it because you're not bitches that are complaining on Reddit about something that actually happened. When you say they didn't even try to replace it, it's a total false. It's a false. You can't say they didn't do anything. And this motherfucker didn't even notice that they did replace her for 10 fucking years. So that means to me that maybe having the live organist isn't really that big of a deal, nor would it bring more people into the park as far as marketing. So that was the next one. That was the one that I thought that was just really, it's really
allegedly
good. Okay, so number 2. Well, it's number 3 because I bitched about the first one too. And this is Jen Pablo Escobar 2. They should never have brought Sheriffin back. This was such an obvious, easy change they didn't make. Benetti's gone and we miss him, but he's not coming back. But that doesn't mean we need to be saddled with the second season of Poochie, the Rockin' Pete play-by-play guy. There were some other options that, while not Benetti or Hawk, are still going to be more palatable than this guy. Sometimes there are people who aren't everyone's taste, and that's fine, but I've never seen an announcer in this town for any team more disliked than this guy. Promote Connor McKnight. Poach Wayne Randazzo from the Angels and bring him home. I'd even gamble, and you could get a few more good years out of John Rooney if you bring him home from St. Louis. Throw millions at Joe Buck for all I care. Just about
Joe
anyone
Buck would love to do that. Yeah.
Right? Just about anyone would be better than this guy, and replacing him would show that you're listening to your fans, that you care. Listen, people that support Jason Benetti and are still burning the torch for Jason Benetti are starting to go off the deep end, like actively. Okay, there's just as many people that like Sheriffin that hate Sheriffin. And guess what? There was just as many people that liked Benetti that hated Benetti. Okay, just because you're really loud and vocal doesn't mean that you're right. Okay, so but I
just like in that MSS that most of their ideas are to poach guys from other teams, as if they are unaware that this is a very unattractive job right now. You have like
right.
the literal worst team in modern era history,
right?
Is the team that you would be leaving your team for, even if they are the Angels. Like,
Well-
you'd be leaving that team. You'd be like, fuck it, I'm leaving. I'm going to go back and work for the Sox on a team that just said after 1 year of their play-by-play guy, fucking get out of here.
Get the fuck
That
outta
sounds
here.
like the perfect job to just
Nice
get
and
in.
stable, really good.
Connor McKnight caught a few strays in that exchange too. People are like, dude, that guy's worse than John. So and it's like and they just hired him.
I didn't make any of them messages. Okay,
Yeah,
I know
I
you
don't
guys are
think
looking
you're
at
on
me.
Reddit.
I did not
you're
put
on
those on Reddit. I'm not on there.
But also, I mean, folks, I hate to break it to you, but usually the guy that's calling the play-by-play on the TV is not someone that's bringing people out to the park. It does not make the park experience any more attractive. So marketing, as far as, oh, I'm not going to that game, I got to listen to John Sheriffin. You're not listening to him. Actually, you would have not have to listen to John Sheriffin. So anyway, you don't need to be doing that. Don't worry about John Sheriffin. This next one here is from Jason82929. He says, nah, we ain't taking that. We ain't taking that. I really hope Shriffen has learned from all his ridiculousness in year one. I can't take another year of sugarcoating everything and all the weirdness. Be a storyteller. The job is to tell the story of the game, not become the story by calling out haters, pretending you're part of the team, etc. All the great announcers in the game are great because of their ability to tell a story about what's happening, as well as tie in previous events, not because they're getting into on-air fights with sports radio hosts or voraciously fighting with the opposing team. Now, what was the story that we could tell last year? 41 times we could talk about the win. 121 times we could talk about the crazy way we lost. The team was ever evolving. There wasn't really a lot of meat on the bone there for him to get down and tell his story. First year in the booth, and he was attacked by local media. He fought back. I give him props for that. So fine, but also, buddy, this guy can't. He's not just gonna make fucking roses out of a pile of shit. It was horrible out there. There's no story to be told. So you saw it at the end when people had kind of resigned to the fact that the team was just awful. That some guys came in, and they told some good stories. I expect Sheriffen to be much better year two. But again, this is not bringing people in the gates. You're not gonna.
How many more of these are about Sheriffen?
Just that's it. That's the last one. Relax.
I'm just asking.
You gotta let me go. Why are people losing their minds? I'm not even looking at the comments.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking a question.
All right. So number 4. This is from Shy Hawkeye, which could be, somebody we know, somebody in the chat. I don't know. Honestly, you have to cater to families like the minor league does. Make it cheap to go. Start games earlier. Ratings are going to suck no matter what. Butts and seats, $10 parking, $10 tickets, $5 hot dogs, $5 ice cream, $5 popcorn. Let me take my family for a fun day for under $100. With how bad this team is, the Cubs and everything else out there, now is the time to build up the fan base. What's funny is that he picked $5. It's like they already do something that's $5 centric. Guys, what is that? Oh, that's right. It's $5 Tuesday, where you can get a beer for $5, a hot dog for $5, a popcorn for $5, a Coke for $5, nachos for $5, or Beggar's Pizza for $5 on any Tuesday. You know how many Tuesdays there are this year? There's going to be 13 $5 Tuesdays.
Wow.
You can take your kid to a $5 Tuesday 13 times.
Get them $5 beers, man. Kids love $5 beers.
Oh, yeah. Those Coors Lights are for kids.
I wish they were banquets, but yeah.
MSS also in there, it says something about the start the games earlier. It's like, isn't that what everybody was complaining about? Is that the games were starting earlier?
That's what they're doing.
Pretty much. Because you know what? You have to modify the game experience, Shreezy, for a person that might come 1 or 2 times a year. They want to bring their kid. They want everything.
But they modified it for this guy already.
They did.
He's asking for a thing they did.
Well, he wants $5. Now the parking, I agree with him. $30 to park is a little rough. But you know what? You're saving a lot of money on the tickets because I know because when the Sox put this out, the ballpark pass where you get 27 games for $125, which is less than $5 a ticket, and includes opening day. People told me you can get the tickets cheaper on resale sites and secondary sites. So He's asking for $10 tickets. You got them, buddy. Like, they're way cheaper. You can do all these. You buy this just for opening day, and then you go to 5-6 more games.
Guys all set.
It's paid for itself. You don't even have to worry about it. So that one.
And I also if I could butt in here.
Yeah.
I have a theory about the hey, make it so you can bring your whole family out to the ballpark. You know, like 20 years ago, the White Sox did exactly that. They made a family-friendly environment here over at the ballpark in hopes of building up a fan base. And that's 20-ish years ago. So those kids right now are probably between 25 and, let's say, 33 years old. Treasy, how often do you see, like, the iBanker from the South Side or the stockbroker really spilling a lot of cash over there? 29 years old, a hot girlfriend, and they're hanging out and they're spending like $300 buying drinks and shit there. Did they really develop any of these kids that age to come to the ball? It didn't work. Having your family, fuck your family. Your family sucks. You're not coming to the ballpark. You don't become a fan. All right, what you're there for is cheap shit. And that's what they realize. You just want cheap shit. So Tuesday nights, that's your night. You go there. We used to have White Trash Monday back in the day. Now it's Tuesday night for $5. $5 beers for kids.
That for the Mondays and Thursday nights that they used to do, they had to put up those nets so the Leguis couldn't get out there. They had the Legui proof.
A little too much entertainment for the fans.
They say it's for the balls. It's not.
It's
for the drunks.
It's to keep people from running out and beating up first base coach.
First base coach.
I had one more, and this guy, I think it's Kevin, but it's spelled KEV11N. He says some of the deals are not really deals at all. Like $5 for a hot dog that probably cost them 30 cents isn't much of a deal. Plus, it's only Tuesdays. Look at Toronto and their dollar dog nights, for example. And that's for a decent team that fans already support. We just lost 121 games, and Boyer is still saying it's better at the park. Go ring your bell of shame, Brooks, you hack. Kevin, I got something to tell you, brother. That car you just bought, or that mocha latte that you just bought from Starbucks or whatever, ain't worth $7. You're not getting a good deal on that. It didn't cost them probably $6.50, and they're making 50 cents on that. That's how fucking it works out there in the sales. Okay, you're not gonna get something for barely over cost. $5 for a hot dog that they sell any other day for $7 seems like a pretty good deal. I don't know. It makes it at least a little bit easier on the wallet. But boys, go ahead.
You know how bad the Sox are. That
Pretty
people in Sox Reddit are saying the Blue Jays, who lost like almost 90 games and finished like 20 games out of first place, are a good team. Now that's a good team.
That's a charter franchise, bitch.
And they have the same plane as we do.
They do. They have the same cheap bullshit plane. Yeah,
I don't think that's a good comparison there, Reddit. Now, my last one, and this might seal the cake, and after this, I mic drop, and then I'm out.
I'm sorry. We got to stop for a second.
Mic drop?
Did you say
out.
This might seal the cake?
He's riffing. Let the boy riff. All right.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to keep up.
He's got a lot of confidence right now because you said he's not the guy to be stolen on. All right. He's got a lot of confidence. Just let him roll. Okay. You're messing him up.
Jesus Christ. This one might take the cake. Okay. Seal the deal. Take the cake. This is from Shasta, Dakota. Putting games back on free TV, especially when the Cubs games are still behind a paywall, is something I have been advocating for a long time. This alone should draw interest from the casual fans. If you think back to the 80s when the Sox were on SportsVision and the Cubs were on WGN, this is a time when the Cubs' popularity boomed. Kids would come home from school and the Cub game would be on. We need to tap into that fan base. Folks, I got nothing to say right now. You can get the entire White Sox season. If you just put an antenna on your TV, you get it for free. This is done. Who's ever thinking this up and saying this is just something we need has not been paying attention to shit. So I can't even talk about it.
I think he's just saying that he likes that. It just seemed like he's saying he likes that, but like it is different. All right, let me just throw this out there. I know.
Let's hear you.
You want to support the Sox for this, and I do like that it's over the air because I'm going to watch it over the air.
That's how I'm watching.
I'm going to watch it, but you got to know that it's there and go search it out, man. It's not like it's on on channel 7 or channel 9 or something like where it's like very obvious. You got to go like 62-3 or whatever channel it is. Like you got to know it's there and you got to seek it out. So I think it's slightly different than what this guy is saying, but like I do appreciate that it's free over the air. But I don't think in general that's going to like win a whole bunch of new fans. Just to be honest.
I mean, it would be cool if it did. I also don't think it will either. I think it's more about, and more about this segment is about, is this like people like complaining and pontificating about things that they want that actually already exist. Like, and you just have to do like a basic Google search to find out that a lot of this stuff is already there. And it also just shows you that Sox fans in general dislike to complain, especially when they're on Reddit. And that's my first call.
I used to think that politics was the number one sport in America, but really it's complaining about shit that you are not involved in at all. Is really the sport in America. I saw so many people on Twitter today. There's something about Xfinity maybe having a little squabble with the Cubs now, and people shouldn't even have Xfinity. They shouldn't have that cable. It's like, fuck you! I'll buy what I want to. Why has it got to be? You point at the consumer. I'll do what I like. How about that? That's I made more money than you. I'm going to spend more. How about that? Get the fuck out of here.
Beef, your thoughts on complaints just kind of roll right into my question for you guys, because I feel like everybody I've been seeing out in the ether. Even I watched the bums on Monday. They're talking about it. Everybody's complaining about this NBA All-Star game. I did not watch it. I don't watch any All-Star games. I have no interest in All-Star games. But if you were to try, I only watched the highlights because we had Mac McClung, man. I don't even know who that. I didn't even know who that guy was.
But you had money on him.
Just a good number.
It was the biggest bet I made all season. Was on this NBA dunk contest because I felt so confident.
I love it.
Sammy P is like, you should do this. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna do it, and I won. Yay!
How would you guys fix any All-Star game? I'll give you any All-Star game to. What are you doing to fix it? To make people give a shit about it? Beef, I'll go to you. I feel like you always got some ideas around this.
I mean, it's a super hard question. And we'll use the NBA game as the example because I think that's the one that needs kind of the most fixing. Like the NFL's All-Star game is an afterthought. It's a free vacation to Hawaii, or at least it was most years. Now, no one really cares. Everyone sits out of it.
It's like just, flag football now, right?
Yeah, it's just a week between. So that one's meaningless. The baseball game still seems to have enough entertainment value for most people. Home run competition or whatever. Yeah. It's reasonably, people are interested. And NHL does a good job of mixing up what they're doing kind of over the years. They've tried a lot of different stuff. The NBA one is the one that used to be great. You had all these great players in there. And that used to be the best one. It's become the worst one. It's tough to get these guys to really see it in a way in which they're showcasing for everyone to see. When we were kids, there was value to the players in winning that NBA All-Star MVP. They wanted to challenge each other. Yeah, it was still run and gun, but in the fourth quarter, they played real ball, and they tried. And I don't really know how to get the trying into them. I don't think money's an incentivizer at this point for those guys. Those guys make so much fucking money at this point. It couldn't possibly work. You're going to need some sort of like WWE style, storyline that gets the one side motivated against another side. Maybe what they do is at some point during the year, the commissioner picks two captains, and it's two guys that are absolutely feuding with each other during the NBA season. Find some bad blood between two guys. Let them pick. And maybe that could really up the stakes because you need the competitiveness back. That's the whole thing with the NBA. When MJ and Magic and Bird and them guys were all in there, those guys wanted to win that game. Isaiah Thomas, the guys wanted to win. They wanted to show the other side that they were going to kick their ass, even if it was a fucking all-star game. And I think we're at the point where the team, the players just don't care anymore. Is that a shot at us, John? You trying to get us sent back or what?
You didn't play in the NBA. You were a bench rider.
I just thought he meant losers here.
I mean, yeah, Beef. I kind of like the idea. I mean, like, you're right in one regard. Is like the money's not going to make a difference. Like I don't see the money making much of a difference. I do think like, yeah, if there's guys that absolutely hate each other, but you got to count on that then. Like, right, and like you gotta count
something to develop that
like
causes it.
Yeah, you need Kevin Durant in the league forever. Like, and Draymond needs to be involved.
You know what they need, Treasy? like a Festivus show that right before like a big tournament, they're like people all fired up again, they get pissed off, and then they go into that in-season tournament or something,
John corrected. He said the losing team gets deported. That's what he
Okay, got it. Okay.
That's what I heard that they on the score. They were saying this because they were talking about how bad it is, and I agree. It's pretty bad. They said that USA versus the world. So you just have all the guys that are from the States and all the guys that are not from the States play each other, and maybe they have some pride, country pride, to go on that because they think that the stuff's working really good with the hockey. But I think what you need to do is as a guy, I think we've kind of aged out of like the NBA. The NBA was really popular when you were a kid because it's something you can do. You can play, you can shoot 3-pointers, you can do all that stuff. And it's cool to see somebody that's bigger than you dunk basketball is pretty awesomely, right? So like, I don't know if we're the target audience anymore, but we're definitely not the target audience when we can't watch any NBA games on regular fucking television. Like I have no idea what any storylines are in the NBA. Like I just couldn't tell you. I don't know who doesn't like each other and who fights with each other. It's something they need to get that back. That's what you need to get back to is like making these guys into superstars or making these guys into like somebody you want to know about. Like you can name all the kids now. I was talking with some dads over the weekend at this birthday party, and they're like, my kid doesn't know who any of the current Bulls are, but can name who Jordan is and Rodman and Pippen and all that shit because that's when it mattered. And they knew Barkley and Ewing and all this shit. And that you lost that superstarness. I feel like you just don't know. And like they've been playing good ball, but like, I mean, man, I don't know.
They're at a point right now where the last group of superstars are old. They're old as fuck. And you got the younger group coming, like Wemby. I mean, Wemby actually just out for the season because he had a fucking blood clot in his whatever. It was crazy to hear that.
That's
but like
crazy shit.
Some of them young guys are coming on, Anthony Edwards and Wemby and some of these guys, but they're not quite there yet to like carry the torch. So you got the real old stars, and the guys who are like in mid to late 30s, and then you have these young kids that aren't quite there. So you are a little bit in between stars, but that's a small period of time problem, in my opinion. This is going to wash in a minute. But the NBA All-Star games pretty much sucked for a while, and it's kind of weird. Like I don't know how you bring it back. And the U.S. versus the world, it's going to be too unbalanced still. Like the world is going to have enough stars, but they won't have the full group. And like a bunch of the U.S. people will get pushed off because you can only have a certain amount, 15 or whatever you have in the roster.
I did like what the WNBA did, where they had like their Olympic team play a team of all-stars, because then you got some pride on the line. You're like, oh, I wasn't on this fucking team. I should be on this team.
I want to kick their ass.
And they did whoop their ass. Beef, this is something that you and I talked about a long time ago. I think we were drunk, and I think you came up with this, but I think we both really liked the idea. And I forgot which all-star game this might have been for baseball, just because we were talking about a lot of these guys don't want to play because they don't want to get injured. Or if they're slightly hurt, they just want to rest so that they could, be good in the second half of the season. Video game. So, yes. and like the thing I was thinking about here was you have whoever's the MVP of the finals or the MVP of the World Series or whatever sport it is gets to pick the vintage game that's going to be modded out for this, right? And you just get some. And you can have it too, and like so, the players aren't playing this shit. Fuck that. They don't get to participate.
So you're saying the MVP could pick double dribble, and they're going to mod double dribble as the All-Star game.
They mod double dribble, and throughout the year, there's events to get to who the two players are going to be for the actual All-Star game, and this could be like anyone off the street. You got to be under 25. I can't. I can't with the grown-ups, man. Like you have to still be on your parents' insurance. All right, that's like how fucking young you need to be.
Roll.
So
disqualified.
These guys they play each other, and you have events all over the country at whatever cities the teams are in, right? And then you culminate at the All-Star game, and they play each other, and the winner gets like $1 million. Right? Like
the person. Yeah.
The players. The players don't get shit. They don't even get to play. They're just, and it's if it's RBI baseball, you all look the same. I'm sorry. You just all look alike. Shohei Ohtani, great great first half of the seaon, you're a short, fat white guy in this. All right, that's just how it goes. So I think that you do that, and then you could make a total spectacle out of that, man. And like, imagine being let's say you're a teenager, you're in this, you get to be playing, Beef, to your point, double dribble on a big stadium screen against someone for $1 million, right? And like, I don't want no second place bullshit. Like, you get like a $25 gift card to Best Buy for second place.
Winner, basically like, winner take all.
It's winner take all. Terrible prize for second place. So yeah,
go all out. Yes,
that's how I do it.
Yeah, and you're keeping the competitiveness, Treasy. That's what it is. There's no handshake. Oh, we'll just have a good game. We don't care. You're playing for a lot, so that's what it is. Yeah. I love it. I love that idea.
I'd bet against myself in that final if I got there. Oh, that's the other thing.
You can bet.
We got to work it out with each state government. This is legal to bet on. This is very much legal to bet on.
There's no question. Yeah, Jackie Truman, I agree. They would. The top line starters for the world team would be good. They lack the depth, in my opinion, compared to the U.S. side.
They work harder.
That's all I was saying. You know,
I'd watch it. I'd watch that.
Rock and Jock should make kind of a comeback.
I like this. I like this idea too. I like this idea.
MTV like the squares or the circles where you can hit 30 points. You know,
let me tell you something. The rule's fine, but the Rock and Jock does not need to come back because if you saw even 4 seconds of the celebrity game that was on the Friday night, that's an atrocity. That's not basketball. Like these celebrities cannot play. Like back in the day, the celebrities could play. These celebrities can't fucking play. The current celebrities, these streamers and everything, they have never played a sport, I don't think. They've never even seen a basketball in their entire lives. Watching it was goddamn embarrassing. And I only caught a couple clips. It was terrible. Not worth putting your eyes on. So until we get some celebrities in there can play a little ball, we don't need that thing anymore.
All right.
I'm with you there, Beef. I'm with you. But Beef, give us your first call.
My first call, surprisingly enough, has to do with the NBA. Well, quasi with the NBA.
Oh, I saw the beeping behind you.
I saw it. The beeping's still going. I saw someone in the comments. It might have been Ian. He's like, "Is there beeping going on in the background? Am I going crazy?" I don't think. I'm just gonna let him think he's going crazy. But no, there is beeping in the background. I apologize for that. No, I saw a tweet, and it really piqued my interest. I'll pull up on the screen right now. And the picture, you can see the red panda. If you guys know who the red panda is, it's a lady who rides unicycle and like throws and kicks these plates up and catches them on her head, and it's just like a wild like halftime show that this lady's traveled a lot of NBA courts and performed the show. Apparently, there is currently a petition to get the red panda in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. So my question for you guys is, would you be pro putting someone like this, who is part of the fabric of the overall entertainment of basketball, and the Naismith Hall of Fame is all basketball. It's not just the NBA. It could be any basketball. Would you be in favor of this? Treasy, would you be in favor of someone like the Red Panda going into the Basketball Hall of Fame?
Fuck yes. So here's why. And this is why I have a lot of opinions on this, especially with baseball. These are fucking museums. They're supposed to tell a story. They're supposed to of the history of something. And like, it feels like you're leaving out some stuff when there's crazy shit like this going on at halftime. And I think especially in an era where I feel like all across sports, the NBA has done the best job of engaging fans in between things going on during the game.
Yeah,
like agreed. They are so much better at it than everybody else. So if you got the best of that and you're the best in that era, it should be in the Hall of Fame. It should be there so that people can see 40 years from now, when everybody has this kind of shit at halftime, here's where it started. Here's where this came from. So like I do like that. I like that there's a fucking mascot Hall of Fame. All right. Like I think like all of these things are part of the experience that we have going to games. And that should be relayed to other people, because you know what? 50 years from now, it might be very different. There's no fucking bullpen cars now, right? Like, I wish
things change.
The fucking Seattle Mariners bullpen boat should be in the Hall of Fame. It should be there. I don't care if it's out in the back parking lot and it's rusting and falling apart. It needs to be there.
And Dirty Mike and the boys are running trains in it. You know, like, get that in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, easy. MSS, what do you think? Red Panda in or out?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't you? That's somebody that makes the game great. And I'm sure a lot of, like, you know, people that weren't really interested in baseball or basketball, like, came and saw that and were like, damn it, that's awesome, you know, just to see it. I remember getting high with my friends and going to see a halftime game at NIU and watching a dog catch frisbees and jump off the back of another person. That was the best part of the entire game, because NIU basketball sucks ass. But there's also a guy, he just performed at the blowout of Wisconsin, Illinois, and it's the amazing Slodek. And he's the guy that has the chairs where he stacks them all the way up to the top. So if you put Red Panda in, you got to put this guy in too, because that guy is fucking nuts. Like, he is like, there is no net, and he's just up there, and he's like, I think he's in his 70s, and he's like doing shit, like he's doing all sorts of stuff. I mean, this guy is amazing. See, you open up a whole new Hall of Fame.
He could do the speech to induct Red Panda. All right, like,
they're all the same, man. They're not all the same.
No, they don't all look alike. I don't want to hear that bullshit. All right,
but like he's fucking good too. But yes, Red Panda definitely for sure, and I think it opens the door for other people.
Jackie Trayer says beer, popcorn, and sodas all go into the Hall of Fame. You know what? No, but I do think though that there should be exhibits.
No reason a beer can't
it doesn't
be
have to
in
be
the
all
Hall
the
of
time.
Fame.
It doesn't have to be all the time, but I think there should be exhibits at the Hall of Fame of, like, some of the best promotions of all time, right? And some of the worst, right? Like, what was that? Like that 5-cent beer night where everybody fought, the miniature bat night where, like, someone got beat to Bolivia.
We do not need that at Sox Park.
Like,
miniature bat.
No, we don't need those things. But I mean, every once in a while, every 10 years or so, that should be the exhibit, right? Like, there should be some exhibits in the Hall of Fame that give you a little insight into.
I agree with you. Tracy's a big Hall guy. Look, I want to test you guys a little further here, because I thought it was going to be a slam dunk. You guys would both say Red Panda in, obviously, because of what an icon Red Panda is. I didn't even need to show you the picture. You knew who the Red Panda was. You said you knew already, right? How about someone maybe you don't know their goddamn name? Do you think Stan Honey should be in the Football Hall of Fame? Now, let me educate you on what Stan Honey did. Stan Honey invented the yellow line on football broadcasts. That line was first used in 1988 during an ESPN game between the Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals. Should the yellow line guy be in the Football Hall of Fame? What do you think, Treasy?
100%.
Yes.
100%. Because have you watched the game where it doesn't have it?
It's terrible.
If it goes out for some reason,
it's horrible.
It's now unwatchable. That guy ruined. Like no, because you're like, I don't have no idea if that was a first down or not. Right. So like, or like where they're trying to get the yellow line is more reliable than the refs.
Yes, for a first down. You know, if it's at the yellow line, first down every time. Definitely you don't need to bring the chains out, Treasy. It was on the yellow line at the first down. I already know it.
You see it touch the yellow line on the telecast. The refs spot it wrong, and it's not a first down. And you're like, they're going to challenge that. They're going to challenge it.
Yeah, there should be a friends and contributors portion to the Hall of Fame. Did you want me to put that back up?
Yeah. JT says not officially in the Hall of Fame. Red line not officially. Yeah, that's right. I trust it though. You know, I always said I trust Billy Bean more than my wife. I trust the yellow line more than I trust Billy Bean. All right, I trust the yellow line with my life.
It's close.
Beef though, you know, and here's why. Here's why another layer to this. The yellow line, very valuable. Right?
That's pretty funny too.
However,
that's what you said.
I said it ruined watching the game without it.
Yeah, so you got to put him in there. You got to put him in the Hall.
So he goes in. I think the thing is though, like you think that might be a slam dunk, but it's not. It's not. The fucking puck tracer was one of the worst things ever on television. So there's
bad.
a downside risk to these things. There's a downside risk, and that guy risked it, and he gets into the Hall of Fame. We gotta get to a drink here. Our guy Jay Zell. Does anyone remember when Bobby Jenks would throw heat right down the middle and Hawk would just say gas?
I do remember.
I do remember. I appreciate you. Jay Zell, cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to Bobby Jenks too, man. Fight hard, buddy.
Tough break, man. Bobby, get well, my friend. You guys remember? He's right about Bobby would throw it at 99 and it would be unhittable. But Bobby became a better pitcher even after he lost all that velocity and became a big ground ball guy, and they couldn't lift the ball off him
when he had the insane streak of outs,
41 batters in a row or whatever.
That's in the time when he was pitching more. He was not just striking guys out. Yeah,
absolutely.
Man, I saw him almost set the
watching him play.
That was my 30th birthday. Yeah, it was my actual 30th birthday. Was here at Sox Park, and he did not set the record. And he got so close to it or whatever. He was 1 out away from going above it or something. I don't remember, but I was here for that.
And in his prime, he was a stud with this.
He was a fucking stud.
Anyone else you want to send to the Hall?
No, I like where we're going with this though, because I'm a big Hall guy in any of the Hall of Fames, because I agree with Treasy. It's a museum. It should tell a story. It should have things in there that let you know kind of what happened in these various eras. And I think these are important things, and I was trying to think of more, but to me, the yellow line guy was the most important thing I could think of what's affected me watching NFL football the most and I've been an NFL fan since I was a little kid, so 40 years or whatever. That goddamn yellow line makes the game so goddamn good. So much, and so I want these people in there.
I think the Negro League had friends and family kind of included too, because they had the guy that was the clown, that would come out before the games and entertain people and do all sorts of shit. No, that's not integral to the baseball game, but it was entertaining the fans. So yeah, absolutely, you need to have some extra people.
For sure. Yeah, I really liked how they set their museum up. It told a story. It was very much telling a story. I like that's the thing too. You go to art museum and they show these beautiful paintings and they'll be like, but this guy was super fucked up. They give the whole story. That's how these things should be. They're museums. You're supposed to learn.
17 months before he killed his entire family and then jumped off a bridge.
All right, MSS. You know what time it is, man.
I do. Get ready, folks. This one's fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
That's right, motherfuckers. I sold another Mazda from Mazda of Orland Park. 108 OG Yumper and his lovely wife bought a brand new CX-30 from our friends at Mazda of Orland Park. Thanks to Juan and Mario for hooking our guy up and providing that fabulous customer service Mazda of Orland Park is known for. So take it from me, the best salesperson ever. If you are looking for a new or used vehicle, Mazda of Orland Park will hook you up. Head to MazdaofOrlandPark.com and check out their inventory. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-586-9412. Zoom Zoom.
That was good. Really good. I enjoyed that. That was excellent.
Although I think Michael Buffer is definitely going to want $10,000 for this.
Listen, we're obviously not going to profit the 25 cents off this video that we normally do, so that's gone. So I might as well have fun. I did use a voice speeder upper in that one, and when I did it the first time, I didn't know that you could change the tone. So the tone was the high pitched voice, and I literally was this close to keeping it with me sounding like a chipmunk. And then I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'll change the voice down, but might release that on the YouTubes and you can listen to it. But yeah, that was probably one of my favorite ads to record ever. It just came together so good today. So thank you, Yumper, and your wife for buying a Mazda from Mazda of Orland Park. You get free merch for a year. That's happening. Yes. It's still going on. You buy a Mazda, you get a free merch for a year. So the merch is on us, my friend. So thanks. Go down and go see your Orland Park.
I'm still mad we didn't get the housewarming party for last year's tourney, but whatever.
Hey, listen, I'm getting there.
I think it's time for a little White Sox talk. And Beef, I'm going to kick it to you because I feel like you got a lot to ask us. You want to know a lot of stuff from us today.
Yeah.
Fucking right. I mean, we're getting, the White Sox have reported to spring training. They're down there in Arizona. we haven't been digging in too much on the players at this point. We've been a little bit of predictions, kind of around the edges. But the White Sox have a ton of position battles right now. And the one that I'm kind of most interested off the top is about Colson Montgomery. I feel like, I pulled up the Regina George meme. I feel like the White Sox are trying to force Colson Montgomery, the shortstop, down our throat. And I put the meme up. Stop trying to make Colson Montgomery shortstop happen. It's not going to happen. By Regina George. I feel like he has been anointed the heir apparent. Chris Maltasanti is going to help me out with that one. My question for you guys to start with this, and I'll start with my Sox summer. Do you think that no matter what happens in spring training, when we come north on March 27th, and we're sitting our asses in our seats, that Colson Montgomery is going to be the starting shortstop for the White Sox this year?
I mean, this is a hard call to make before we've even seen him like take a ground ball. Okay, now I agree with what's coming out of camp so far. Colson's like, this is my job to earn. I need to earn this spot. I need to get there. Everything sounds great. That sounds right. Do I think he'll be the opening day starter? I think if he has a hot spring and he does decent enough and gets some hits, if he gets some like palatable good base hits, we're good. He's going to be there. If we don't, we're going to have a fucking goddamn scrub starting at shortstop, and he's going to be like trying to come up and down and work on something low. We've heard it from the organization already. They're not going to rush these guys and throw them out there and sacrifice them and see what happens. But like, honestly, if he's been around long enough, he's been on the hype train long enough that he should be starting, but I don't know. But I will say,
he's wishy-washy right now. Teresa E. Is Colson Montgomery going to be a starting shortstop on March 27th? When you go to this game?
Why is MS channeling Jim Margulis and not making
not answering the question? Yeah, exactly. Can't play both sides. MSS. Let's go. Treasy.
Short answer, yes. So here's the thing. You're not going to wait till 6 to bring up Colson Montgomery, right? So it's this year. And the way that I think that they have to be thinking about it right now is we think that Colson Montgomery can be a starting shortstop in the league. If they didn't, they would have done more to block him this year.
Right.
They would have done more to thin out third base. They did neither of those things. So they obviously want him to be there. Now, while all of us are looking at this and going and thinking through like the most fucked up path possible for this, because we're Sox fans and we've seen it go wrong so many times.
The worst path possible is the one we think of, and then it turns out there's a worse one we didn't even realize.
And Beef, I'm number one on this train, right? I mean, like, I think before anyone was talking about it, we were in the Sunday Soak, and I said, is this guy even a shortstop? Because he's had all these errors in his like first year in the minor leagues, and everybody was like, that happens to everybody in the minor leagues. Don't worry about it. And I was like, okay, I'm fucked up. I don't watch minor league baseball, so I just didn't know about that. And now everybody's like, this guy might be a third baseman. Well, the Sox are not there. The Sox are not there. They're looking at this as an upside play, right? Yep. Why wait? I think we've been saying shit like this for years. If you think the guy's good, why wait? Don't play any games with him. Don't put him down for a month to try and get better. Because, Beef, you made this comment on the Aju on Monday. What if he goes down and stinks for a month? Then what do you do?
Right. So the adage is a lot of people are like, well, send him down to Charlotte and make him prove it, and then you bring him up after he's good. What if he's not good? What if we get to July and he still fucking sucks in Charlotte? What are you going to do then? You're going to not bring him up, or you're going to bring him up? It hasn't been well thought out by White Sox fans either.
You bring him up immediately. That's what they're going to do. They're going to put him at shortstop day one, and if it doesn't work out, it's going to be painful. It's gonna suck, and he's gonna have to go through all of his growing pains in the majors. That's just how it is. And 3 years from now, if it's not working out, we're gonna be looking at him like Vaughn, and we're gonna be like, this guy just wasn't that good. And there'll be people on Twitter going, this is Jerry's fault because they rushed him.
Right.
Exactly.
But the lottery ticket and all of it is there is draft pick compensation if you get some guy who's gonna be like rookie of the year. Now. True. I'm not saying he's going to be rookie of the year. I'm saying it's a lottery ticket.
Right.
If it comes out and has the Yerman Mercedes April and May and hits 5-10 home runs out of there, he's in position to just have a kind of okay rest of the year and be in the conversation. So I think that there's not a lot of downside risk in bringing him up right away. The Sox haven't put anything in his way. I don't see how it's not. Like I think you have to really fucking stink in spring training for them to not do it.
All right, let me switch back to MSS for a second here because he was uncertain. So let's say they don't bring him up, MSS. Who is your starting shortstop out of the group? Because exactly. I mean, that is kind of the, because when you look around, you're like, well, who can actually play shortstop out of the people that are hanging around this 40-man roster? You know.
And you know what, Colson it like was fine last year, right? In 2024, no injuries, but in 2023, he had the strained oblique and he had a hurt back. So I mean, he's not. I wouldn't say he's injury prone, and we gotta hope that he's not, and we gotta hope that strength and conditioning is fine because you're right, Loaf. There's really nobody else there. So is he a lock? I guess so. Treasy's kind of convinced me he's gonna be there, and I agree. I agree to a certain point that like we gotta watch these guys now. Okay. Let's not get crazy. I'm not going to be like that guy on Twitter on Saturday that was telling me that Oscar Colas still needs another go round with a new coaching staff. I'm like, I don't think that's necessarily needs to happen. And Andrew Vaughn hasn't been given a fair shake, out there. They've both been given plenty of chances. So I think that Colson being out there and learning on the job there. Hopefully he's got enough skills and hopefully there's not a lot of pressure. No one's looking at him like, hey, you need to go out there and win these games for us. It's like, dude, everyone's in the same boat.
Get out there and figure it out is more that.
Try not to suck, right? Wasn't that what they said on the north side? Try not to suck. Yeah. Just go out there and just do what you can do. So, yeah. I guess he's our starting shortstop.
My guy Ian Eskridge in the comments puts Baldwin and Mydroth both play a competent shortstop. Baldwin has the better arm. Look, Baldwin, I don't know of Mydroth's prowess. I do know he did play a bunch of shortstop last year in AAA in Boston. Baldwin played a bunch of shortstop in the minors, but when they bought Baldwin to Chicago, at the end of the year, they did not play him at shortstop very much. They gave that job to Jacob Amaya. They trusted Jacob Amaya's glove more. And I heard Brian Bannister saying they're looking for pitchers that throw from a lot of weird angles, and they think it's cheaper to buy ground balls than it is to buy strikeouts. They can't afford it. So if you're going to buy a lot of strikeouts and buy the weird angle guys, it does make me curious how they're going to line up because
buy a lot of grounders.
Yeah, you're going to buy a lot of the other team hitting ground balls to your infield, mostly the left side. It's curious to me. Are they going to line up with Colson Montgomery, who people are not sure if he's really a shortstop? They didn't hire, and like Teresa, you said, they didn't bring in an NRR guy who is like a terrific glove at short. They have Jacob Amaya around, who is a decent glove at short, not a great one. He can't hit at all, though. His hitting prospects are absolutely horrendous. So it is interesting to watch. I would assume it's probably 90-95% that it's Colson Montgomery. I agree with you, Treasy. Like, he would have to be horrible or get hurt to not be the guy who's starting at shortstop. And we can call that a mistake, but I think they're just starting to play the hands they have. And they're at the point where we're going to start figuring out some shit. And I feel like Guts has already shedded enough of he made small trades and realized they didn't work or whatever. He's ready to see if Colson Montgomery can work at the major leagues. And maybe he's seen enough. Maybe he's not enough. We don't know.
What are you gonna learn by having Jacob Maya there?
Nothing. You learn absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Brooks Baldwin either. Like Brooks Baldwin, there's plenty of at-bats for Brooks Baldwin if they want.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he could be here and play, and it'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't need to be the starting shortstop.
You throw books in the outfield, for God's sakes.
I mean, when you need them.
We kind of do whatever you want with them.
I mean, we got enough outfielders right now, but you're right. They could throw him in the corner outfield. I mean, no problem. So, all right, next up.
That's where we stick everybody.
Do whatever you want with him. He's the Bonnie Blue of
I had that in my notes and didn't end up using it today. I was going to bring it up.
Or the Lily, whatever.
Let's get a drink here because we always got to get a drink if Gordo's coming.
Gordo,
hope you're doing well, my friend.
Cheers, Gordo.
Cheers, Gordo.
Love you, bro.
I'm gonna take a drink for you, buddy.
Next up on the list for me, another guy. I wrote a blog about this guy actually.
Oh,
it's Miguel Vargas. He rolled into spring training 20 pounds heavier,
baby.
Than the end of the 2024 season. Not quite Jesus Montero, Treasy. Not 40 pounds heavier by just eating. This was kind of asked for that he'd get heavier because he'd lost a bunch of weight before the season ended. My blog though
was to be clinical.
The depression, his depression-inducing play. My question though is, does Miguel Vargas have plot armor with the 2025 White Sox? I wrote a blog about this. Treasy, do you believe that Miguel Vargas has plot armor on the 2025 White Sox?
So if you're not familiar with plot armor is watch Die Hard, and John McClane has plot armor. He needs to survive till the end. So no matter what the fuck happens, he lives through it, right? Like, right. He jumps through a vent, and what would rip a normal person's hands off, he's able to hang on to the thing. So like that's plot armor. Like it's just written into the script that Miguel Vargas is going to be on this team, and that's what's going on. And I think to some extent, yes, Beef, he does have plot armor. I think it's partially because of the fact that they just traded for him. But I think the other piece of it is that he's out of options, right? Yep. And when you look at this team, there's a lot of, and why we're talking about it right now, why every podcast is talking about it, why people are writing blogs about it. There are a lot of position battles within the team right now. And it looks, you have the illusion of depth by saying, oh, there's like 3 or 4 guys competing for this position. There are good number of guys that can play third base on this team. Between Vargas, between Josh Rojas, Lenyn Sosa, even
Brian Ramos.
Brian Ramos, if healthy enough to throw a baseball across the diamond.
The elbow. Yeah. I was gonna say, he hasn't been throwing yet. I saw that written. Not throwing the ball yet, but he is swinging. So,
but what's interesting about a lot of their depth is that it's only depth if sequenced properly, right? Because there's a bunch of guys that are out of options.
Right.
So like Sosa, Vargas, they're out of options. So thinking about who's going to make the team, who's going to be there day one, I think Vargas is going to be there because it makes the most sense from overall roster construction throughout the levels, right? Like you have more guys to choose from if Vargas makes the team. If he doesn't, he's got to clear waivers. Like, and maybe he will, maybe people think he stinks, but I kind of feel like the Marlins or somebody would grab him. So you kind of got to put him out there. You got to see what you got. He, again, would have to have a horrendous spring training for them to even consider this. I think if he shows any pop in spring training, they're going to be like, okay, well, let's see what he can do. And especially the Brian Ramos elbow, it helps this tremendously to happen. I don't see why they wouldn't go slow with Ramos and say, well, Vargas is out of options anyways. Let's play him at third base starting day one. And we'll see how far into the season he gets. Beef, I don't think that they're so attached to him from the trade that like by June, if he stinks, he's on this team. Like I don't think the leash is that long.
Well, that's what I was going to ask MSS. My Sox Summer, how badly do the White Sox need to kind of at least solidify the Eric Fetty trade? Because I could tell in your eyes when Treasy brought it up, the fact that they traded for this guy and he was the name in that trade.
Right.
Maybe they didn't think he was the most valuable piece, but he was definitely the name. He was the one everyone was writing about. And when people bagged on the trade, they were bagging on him. How badly do the White Sox need this little win, him succeeding just a little bit, being a decent player for this organization to feel like they got a victory here?
They need it badly because the other guy that they has plot armor is our Andrew Vaughn. You know, like he's another guy that just cannot be killed. You know, like you thought he was going to be gone because he was going to get this big contract. Nope, still around. You know, and they made the right decision with Nicky Lopez and all some other guys. You know, like just get the fuck out of here. But he is the second one on the team that needs to succeed. You know who didn't have plot armor, Loaf? Jake Berger. Jake Berger did not have plot armor. They were like, we need to get this guy the fuck out of here. And if he succeeds, he's going to make us all look bad because we said it wasn't going to happen. I understand that it happened under an old regime, but still, it's the thing is still there. So, yes, no, I think you're right. And you quoted, what was it, Fangraphs or whatever that showed how he's going to be so much better going forward, you know, in this thing. And I think the Sox believe that too. And I believe that. And you know what? If you tell a guy, go out and gain 20 not look like fat and disgusting. If you tell a guy to go out there and gain 20 pounds and not look fat and disgusting, and he does it, fucking you gotta at least give him a starting position and let him be around for a little while. I mean, the guy did what he said. You asked him to do something, he did it. You have the job, son.
You got to give him a shot. Kind of like the Palka thing. When they made Palka get in shape, you got to give him the job. You got to play him right field. You got to hey, he held up his end of the bargain. And you might as well do that. I'm glad you brought up the projections, my Sox number, because I want to put them up on the screen right now. So we brought this up on a prior show, how the White Sox could improve their offense. And it's a list of, with the 2025 average projected WRC pluses by hitter. And it's a bunch of different projection modules, Steamer, the Bat, ATC, Zips, Oopsie, a bunch of them average together. Oops. And Miguel Vargas is projected to be a league average hitter after he was a horrible hitter last year. Now, everyone in the streets is telling me Miguel Vargas sucks. The eggheads are telling me Miguel Vargas, league average hitter. Which one do you believe? Treasy? Who is closer to the pin on Miguel Vargas? The eggheads or the White Sox fans out here in the street?
I'm gonna guess the eggheads. And the reason I didn't see anything out of Vargas that I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna pin everything to this guy. This is where it's at. But it's hard for me to believe that he was that high up in the Dodgers system, which is a great system.
Yeah.
And that he just stunk all of a sudden. Like he was bad all of a sudden. I assume there's just some things that he needs to work on and become a normal player. I don't think he's going to be great, but close to league average, that doesn't seem like that big of a.
Is that hard?
Yeah, for like a top
for
prospect,
White Sox it is.
For like a top prospect to be like close to league average, like that doesn't seem difficult. The anomaly seems like having a 16 WRC plus. That seems like the anomaly.
Jackie Treehorn says, regarding betting the over on wins when I see those types of projections.
It's only over 49.5.
I love it. MSS, I'll bring the graphic back up. Who do you believe, the eggheads or the people in the street? Do you believe Vargas could be okay, or the eggheads that he stinks?
Listen, the eye test last year was horrible, but
it was horrible.
I got to agree with Teresi. I got to go with the eggheads because it's not like it was some shitty organization that was putting these labels on prospects. Like, it's a good organization that understands things. Now they do buy a lot of talent, so I'm not sure. Maybe they're just pumping people
up. They
like
to trade away certain guys. They don't always produce.
That's true. So I don't know. I still like our chances. I think last year is it's like a mulligan. It's unfair to expect somebody to come in and just kick royal ass. Like a lot of CD44 saying, oh yeah, Vargas sucks. He definitely sucked. You know who else sucked? Was fucking Yohan Moncada for so many years. You're just like, these guys were highly touted and then they sucked. So I don't see no reason not to give this guy another year. So let's go egghead. And let's just hope for the best.
Whoa.
What?
Let me stop you there. I'm not giving this guy a whole year.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Got 2 months.
Starting job, 3 months.
We get to June 1st. Treasy wants some goddamn results.
Yeah.
You brought up. You go ahead.
You better have a few home runs under your belt, motherfucker. I can't see you sulking in the dugout like on June 1st because that's your last game. That's your last game. Get the fuck out.
Can you imagine, though, like you got traded
Happy Memorial Day. Get the fuck out.
Getting traded from the team that eventually wins the World Series to the team that just set the record for most losses. I mean, that is depressing. And, I mean, I would still eat, obviously, and keep my weight up. But,
I might gain 50 pounds, not get as skinny as he got.
Like, yo, hey.
It's like, that beef loaf guy's gotten beefy since he's arrived.
they fry everything in fat here? Oh, yes, let's eat this. Yeah,
I love it, man. Let's do it. Last thing on this topic right here. If he fails, Miguel Vargas fails here.
Yeah.
How many more times can Chris Getz get completely junked in the return of a trade and you still have some faith in him? Because I feel like we're still glass half full as a podcast on Getz because we like some of the hires internally, but he's been getting his balls kicked in on some of these trades. The Aaron Bummer trade turned into goddamn fucking nothing. He traded for Dominic Fletcher. They're on the verge of cutting his ass too. Not that Christian Mann is anything special to begin with, but like if this one flubs, if he washes out in June like Treasy's like, oh, he stinks. Treasy, how many more times are you gonna give faith? Or are you gonna start turning on him immediately?
It's not even how many more times. It's Kyle Teal better fuck. I mean, like because how many more times do we even have a chance?
Right,
It's just like I think the thing we'd be doing, we'd all be sitting around going, "Keep Luis Robert because you're gonna fuck it up." Like, so I don't think it'd be so much as I don't think there's any more leash there. I think it's like you better hope that Braden Montgomery is fucking awesome and Kyle Teal comes up and hits immediately, and then don't trade Luis Robert because we don't trust you. We don't trust you to do it. He's on it to extend him. Like that's the better option.
It's unfortunate too because he's done a really good job at finding like apparently like diamonds in the rough, or somebody in the organization has found diamonds in the rough and like shined them up and then trading them in for lottery tickets. And so when you and those you'll see if the lottery tickets pay off. But when you're trading proven talent like you did with Cease and then Kopech and whatever else, and
Eric
then
Fetty.
Crochet, Fetty, like you need those guys to pan out. Those need to pan out. So I agree with Breezy. Like you don't have a lot more.
I got to comment on something you said though. The fact that you said like he's been finding diamonds in the rough.
Yeah,
I don't. I think you're in a Ritz cracker situation because Rick Hahn was so bad at finding mediocre free agents. I hear you got one Eric Fetty, and you're like, hold on, is this a Ritz?
But Paul DeYoung was decent. No, I know where MSS is going here. Tommy Pham was fine. Tommy Pham was fine. Yeah, and I saw where he was going with that.
This is what I'm saying though. Every GM does this. Every GM can find the mediocre guy to fill in.
If Frederick had been able to do that, he wouldn't have had to trade Chris Sale.
Freddie,
you know what I'm saying?
Sucked at it, and so they had to burn it all down. And then when they got actual guys coming up and actually had some talent, Jose Abreu at his peak. You had Jose Abreu at his peak, and you couldn't fill in around him. Now we look and go, okay, there was, the Paul DeYoung signing. Got a beautiful negative WAR out of him, and you're like, this is what we signed up for.
18 homers, though.
I get it, beef.
24
negative 4.
Doesn't matter.
Let's get to a drink from Jay Zell. Jay Zell just says gas. Love it, Jay Zell. Appreciate you.
Gas.
All right, let's close up this section talking about the White Sox catcher situation. The White Sox have an absolute ton of catchers in camp right now. They have Matt Tice. I know I'd pronounced that wrong, Treasy. Corey Lee, Omar Narvaez. Then they have the two young bucks, Edgar Caro and Kyle Teal. Who comes out of this group and becomes the two guys that come to Chicago at the end of March? Treasy, who do you think lines up behind the plate to start the year?
So I was laughing. I was watching the Garfine interview Martin Perez the other day.
Yeah.
And he asked him about Omar Narvaez. They're both Venezuelan. He's like, it's like, oh, what about Omar Narvaez? And he's like, he's a really good guy. That was like what he came out of the gates with, and I was like, oh shit, that's like what your friend says when you're like an ugly dude. That's what your friend says to a girl he's trying to hook you up with. Like, so I was like, all right, well, Omar's out. That's it. We know he's not making the roster. And then me and MSS were talking about Matt Thice before the show, and we were trying to remember the signing because we were like, was it a signing or was it a trade? Like, because remember the Cubs were involved in some. We're like, okay, let me look this up, and it's like he was released by the Angels. The Cubs picked him up off waivers for like cash considerations, and then a month later, the Sox got him from the Cubs for cash considerations. It was like. People are just passing this dude around for like pocket change. And I'm just like, maybe he's not a sure thing. So this is one beef where I really kind of feel like it is up for grabs. It is up for grabs. I think the one thing I'll say is I don't think Edgar Caro starts in the major leagues.
Okay.
I think he's had a little bit of injury issue at the end of the season. He wasn't great in some parts last season. I think they'll probably start him in the minors. That's my guess. But I think the other three, which is Lee, Teal, and Theis.
Because you've already eliminated Omar Narvaez.
No, Narvaez.
Okay, all right. Yeah, got it.
He's not involved. It's nice to see him.
Thanks for coming by.
I appreciated his previous run.
Hope you enjoyed your free meals.
I mean, I think if they'll keep him in the minors if they can. If he doesn't,
I was going to say
he doesn't
he
opt
probably
out of
doesn't
that.
want to do
He doesn't
that.
opt out of that. But the other, I think the other three, it's up for 2 spots are up for grabs, and it's really on Kyle Teal to force his way onto that roster. And so I think Kyle Teal's got to have a big spring training. I think the opportunity for him is there. I think they really like him because if you trade Garrett Crochet and you want to show that this is the guy, that's the guy you pick, right? That's the guy that you're looking at. That's the guy you give an opportunity to make the opening day roster. Mm-hmm. And I think he has an actual shot, but I don't think it's a sure thing. I think they didn't bring in Matt Theis because they already had ideas of Kyle Teal being
on the team, right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So like they have insurance for themselves to say, and Narvaez is technically there too as well. Like to say, if these guys aren't ready, they're not ready, and we're going to keep them down. But I think Teal has a real chance at making this roster.
Let me follow up quickly there. If Teal makes it,
I think I'm going to say exactly.
Yeah, who are the 2 catchers then?
If Teal makes it, and it's him and Corey Lee, Teal's the starting catcher.
Okay. Well, I assume he would start if he made it, but I was asking who would be the second catcher, and you're saying that you would think it would be Corey.
I think it's Corey Lee.
Yep.
I think Caro would really have to have a great spring training to make the team. Like incredible spring training. I kind of think that he might be up. I think he will be up this year, but I think that I don't know that they want him to be there out of the gates. I think they probably want to work with him a little bit more in the minors before they bring him up.
Now, my Suck Summer, I want to get your thoughts on this on a couple different angles. One, do you, like Chirizi, believe that Omar Narvaez is dead on arrival? 2, do you think it's such a shoo-in that Corey Lee makes the roster? Because you and I tend to watch the catchers a lot during the season, and by the end of the year, you and I were basically like, what does Corey Lee do other than throw the ball well? Because he can't block the ball. No, he doesn't frame, and he wasn't hitting shit by the end of the year. No. So it's interesting to see, I felt like he was really playing poorly by the end of the year, and I think you did too. So, when you look at this mess, who are you thinking is going to come to Chicago, the 2 guys?
So I think Corey Lee is definitely the starter to be beaten, right? Like he's going to be there just because his first half last year was not bad.
It's not bad.
He had a hot start and he did well. So if they can recapture some of that and put him back out there and him just be serviceable, that would be great. Because he was hitting even.
In the first half he hit. Yeah, absolutely.
So if he's made some adjustments and that he can get back to something like that, that's fine. Now the other guy that's up there, the guy from the Angels to the Cubs to us, Theis. What'd you say, Theis? Theis. You look at his picture on Baseball Reference. He looks like a guy you want to get high with because he looks high as hell in those pictures. So he's definitely should be around. He's probably a good clubhouse guy because he knows where to get the weed. But no, those. So I agree with Chirizi. Omar Narvaez is there just in case everyone sucks up. Now, I'll say this. When we saw Edgar at Sox Fest, I liked his cut. That guy was fucking stacked. He was muscular and everything. Yeah. So if he can serve a little bit of time, he's young. He's only 22. If he serve a little bit of time down there in the minors, get his shit together, figure it out. I mean, these guys might be fizzled out by the end of the year. He comes up and plays some September baseball and just has some fun up there and just see what he can do. This I don't know. But I do think Corey Lee it's his job.
He's like the for you. He's the de facto starter unless someone comes and really shoves him out of the way. Basically,
right. And
I've got a question. I've got a question for each of you on this topic. So MSS, you first. You said Matt Theis looks like a guy you might smoke weed with.
Yeah.
Do you think he has any plot armor because he's the connect on the team?
I mean, that's a good call, Chirizi.
The white boys that connect. I love it.
They're valuable. They're valuable to have around, but I think we know the clubby, and I think the clubby probably knows like a good place to get drugs too, because I think they can probably do that.
And question to you, Beef.
Yeah.
When you look at this, and you look at the talent that they have at catcher, is there an opportunity for a 3-catcher situation here? Especially when you look at, like, they were willing to go out and get Joey Gallo and give him an opportunity to make this team. If they're looking for someone who's like only going to be a backup first baseman, that's their words, that he would be only a first baseman here.
Right.
If they're looking for something like that, does that leave opportunity for a third catcher to be on this roster?
You know, I don't think at the start, but I think what MSS was saying about the September situation, where you might be trying to reward people and make sure that, like, all your young guys who perform well, they kind of get up here if they need to get up here. I could see in September a situation where it's Teal, Caro, and Corey Lee, or if Corey Lee doesn't make it, it's Dice and Corey Lee is in Charlotte or whatever. But I could see the 3 catchers, because you do have a little bit of utility with your 2 young catchers. You can probably throw them a glove at first base. I know Teal has played some outfield. I know you want to kind of avoid that, and you could definitely put Edgar Caro as your DH.
Right.
You know, so it's not a hassle to have the 3, especially when the roster expands a couple spots. And so I think maybe by September you can see that, but I don't think they'll go like during the regular year. I don't think they're going to end up doing that because they're so log jammed in the outfield already, and trying to figure out that the infield with Colson, Montgomery, and everything. I don't know if they could afford the extra spot and kind of throw another catcher on there. But I think by September we might be sitting back and saying, "Oh, all the kids are here. Let's go."
So log jam that now Oscar Colas is going to be taking balls at first. You know,
I doubt it. So last question on this: do you guys think, though? You know, we've kind of positioned the thing more of basically, Getz is going to hoard talent. Basically, is kind of like the look here materially. I think Trees, you thought there's a possibility that Kyle Teal can make the roster, but what if the kids just blow the veterans out of the water? Do you think Getz is going to hold up his end of the bargain, which he's been doing a little bit, and just kind of giving whoever is playing the best the rewards? He gave Garrett Crochet the opening day starting job because he was pitching the best. He had earned it on merit. Do you think Chris Getz is going to stick to a merit-based situation, or will he hold these guys back even if they're killing the vets?
At catcher, if we're talking about catcher, I think they just, like, if Caro and Teal come out and they're just crushing the ball and they're playing well, yeah, I think they're just on the team. Like, I don't see why he wouldn't do that. There's not a scenario where that seems weird to me. I mean, I think the Vargas thing is different, right? I think the Vargas thing, he has to really get outplayed to lose that spot. But the catcher battle, yeah, I mean,
let him go. Right?
I don't think Chris Getz gives a fuck about any of these guys.
MSS, what do you think?
No, I agree. I agree. Because I don't have anything else to add. I just like what he said.
That's it. That's White Sox talk. We got position players this week. Next week, we'll probably talk a little bit about the pitchers. I want to dig in on that with you boys.
Man, I got to learn who those guys are.
It's more fun.
Yeah, Penn and Teller at one of the pitching positions. I don't know who they're guys. All right, so that means it is time for thank yous and GFYs. My Sox Summer, who are you thinking of GFY?
I am not thanking or GFYing anybody. I'm RIPing, and I'm RIPing to my guy Rodney, who was a bouncer at Max's sports bar out in Huntington Beach. He was a really good guy. Used to run into him all the time when we were out there. We used to like to smoke too. We were out there smoking the cigarettes. So it's fun times. But he fell on hard times after I left California. But it was also always sending me messages on Facebook and saying how much he missed me and blah, blah, blah. Talked to his wife today and sent some money off so poor guy could get cremated. So rest in peace, Rodney. You were a good guy. We're cheersing to you tonight. And boys, we're getting old. We're getting old, so we got to live life. So cheers.
Absolutely.
Don't want to bring everybody down, but he'd had some health problems, so it wasn't totally shocking, but also a death when you're in your mid-50s is pretty unexpected.
Beef, who are you thinking of GFYing?
Before I get to mine, let's get to this drink from
yes.
Sharon's ex-husband, Chris. And Sharon's ex-husband, Chris, says, I acknowledge my tribal chief Gabriel Silva. Cheers.
There we go.
All right.
Cheers.
My thank you goes to the people that have already committed to the first ever 108 Tourney Celebrity Charity Tournament. We'll have full details on next week's show. The back half of next week's show will list the entire bracket for this group. But we're doing a charity tournament. We're going to give away $1,000 to charity to the winners of this tournament. And we've been reaching out to local Chicago celebrities, and a bunch of people are in. So can't wait to reveal the whole group to you guys next week. It's a little added bonus to our normal 108 tourney.
Yes.
It's a different thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks to everyone who has said they're in already. And I look forward to a fun tournament.
Fuck yeah.
I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be awesome.
That's going to be fun.
I'm very excited.
It's good fun.
Treasy, who are you thanking or GFYing, bro?
I'm GFY my building because so we got no hot water, man. Like, so it's back now. But like, I woke up this morning, fucking ice cold water. I'm sorry, it's too fucking cold. I cannot shower in a cold water. Right, my body is just, the temperature's not up enough to do this. I thought about doing the sauna and then jumping in the cold shower. I touched that cold water. I was
so
like,
hard. Oh no,
that can't do it. So look, I did my best to not stink, but I'm sure at this point of the day, I smell like a bum's nutsack. Like I can't even fucking imagine. But
all that ball cheese, man. Can you
well, you
believe
can
it?
do that in the sink.
And GFY to no hot water, man. That's fucking bullshit.
Imagine I'm doing that in the sink at work.
Oh, that'd be the best. What you doing? Hey,
Don't worry about it.
Hot water.
The fuck do you think I work? Like,
mind your own business.
That would be fine with that. Don't worry about it.
And then a quick thank you to everybody who's bought tickets for our live event so far. Keep buying. We need buy like whoever buys 10 tonight. We'll send you something special, or buy any tonight, and you might get a shin guard. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, everybody.